In the early days, Spyro remained confined to the PS1. Along with Crash Bandicoot and Lara Croft, Spyro is synonymous for the console and often features a list of some of the best PS1 games to have ever been released. Since then, however, Spyro has spread his wings and now appears on multiple platforms including the Game Boy Advance, Xbox and Nintendo Switch. And with that in mind, we thought that we would take a look at the top 10 best Spyro games to have ever been released. But of course, just before we do go into the video, if you do like this type of content and you would like to see some more top 10 videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course, like this video. And with all that said, let's just get straight into it. These are our top 10 best Spyro games to have ever been released. Number 10, Spyro A Hero's Tale. Spyro A Hero's Tale was the first Spyro game to make it onto the Xbox, although many will remember it for being on the PS2. Hunter the Cheetah and the gang return to help Spyro track down and defeat Red, a banished dragon elder. Many like the touch of having a dragon as the antagonist of this game, and although many Spyro fans undoubtedly know how important collecting gems is, in A Hero's Tale, however, it is less of a necessity. Gems now act as a currency like rupees in Zelda, and aren't integral to the level progression format. A great game, but nothing special, mostly just a reskin of an old formula. Although it's a formula that's hard not to love if you are a Spyro fan. Number 9, The Legend of Spyro the Eternal Knight. This title deserves a spot in the top 10 for Elijah Wood and Gary Oldman's voice acting alone. Most things within Spyro was kind of get to A to B without dying. In the Legend series, exploration and puzzle solving play a key feature. It's as though Spyro turned into a Zelda game making session, hence the title, and decided to implement some of the key features within some of the Spyro games. The graphics look pretty slick in comparison to the PS1 titles, and all in all, a typical Spyro game with enough new features to keep gamers hooked. Number 8, Spyro Attack of the Rhinox. Spyro Attack of the Rhinox is one of those Game Boy Advance games that does get a bit of criticism. It does have a nice RPG feel to it, along with some cool inventions that makes for a compelling storyline. Although with that said, a lot of people didn't enjoy the RPG collecting elements in this game, although others felt that it added a new dimension and formula. And with that said, Attack of the Rhinox would have been very similar to the previous two games, which might have deterred people from buying it. That said, it does deserve a spot in the top 10 purely because of how different and innovative the game felt. Number 7, The Legend of Spyro Dawn of the Dragon. When released, it marked the 10th anniversary of the series and does bring some cool new features to the table. In Dawn of the Dragon, players can free fly at any time, rather than having to do those annoying flying levels where it was super difficult in the first game. The game levels are much bigger, so free flying is a great way of exploring all these different areas. The graphics in this game are also very stunning, and twinned with Elijah's great voice acting and return of Spyro's new breath ability, it does make for an exciting game to play. Number 6, Spyro 2 Season of Flame. Spyro 2 Season of Flame was a sequel to Season of Ice, the second in the Game Boy Advance series for portable Spyro games. While the camera angles in this game are a little clumsy in comparison to the PS1, it does look and play like a classic GBA title, which is what a lot of people loved about this game. Some gamers found the controls pretty difficult to get hold of, although that might be because they were used to playing the PS1 title. While Spyro is an iconic PS1 character, some of Spyro's best adventures have been on the Game Boy Advance. And in this title, on the Dragon of Dragons Island, you also have Fireflies, which are given fire-breathing abilities. Number 5, The Legend of Spyro A New Beginning. As the first title in the Legend series, this game was always going to come under close scrutiny, as reinventing the series is pretty tough, but with Spyro's new breath attacks, including electric and earth, alongside some cool new claw moves, it gave the game a little bit more variety, and something that we hadn't already experienced before, is that this game was a little short on the level front. Nonetheless, this game looked good and was very fun to play. Number 4, Spyro the Dragon. The very first Spyro the Dragon game was and still is a masterpiece. Back in 1998, kids went crazy for Spyro the Dragon. He was unlike anything that we'd seen before, a talking mythical beast that was capable of breathing fire. In this game, Spyro and Sparx must travel across their homeland with the help of the balloonist, freeing all the dragons that nasty Nork has frozen. What's more, Nork Features has turned all the dragon's jewels into bad guys. Along with Crash Bandicoot, Spyro at the time provided competition for the N64. It looked good and played better, and while easier than games such as Banjo-Kazooie, it certainly won over a lot of gamers and secured PS1's place in one of the greatest consoles of all time. Number 3, Spyro 2 Riptos Rage. Spyro's 2 Riptos Rage followed the original Spyro the Dragon game, dropping a year later in 1999. Working with the same core basics as the first title, the second release of the original feels much more compact and boasts more missions that you have to complete. As before, Sparks takes place of a health bar, albeit an interactive one, as his color drains when Spyro is low on health. Bottled butterflies act like the fairies in Ocarina of Time when Spyro needs a boost, meaning that you no longer have to run around trying to find a sheep in your hour of need. While the graphics didn't change that much between the first two games, the inclusion of new characters and even more exciting features provided way more value for money. Number 2. Spyro Year of the Dragon. After the success of the first two games, Insomniac could have produced any old rubbish and we probably would have bought it. However, what they did was make an amazing game with better graphics, catchier music, and even more features to try out. Minigames made an appearance in Year of the Dragon, adding another new feature to the game that we hadn't already seen before. You also in this game get a chance to complete sections of the levels as another character entirely. And as well as fire breathing, Spyro can now also swim, which means no more dying every time you fall into the water. Moneybags the Bear controls the items needed to progress, and trades items for gems, while dragon eggs must be collected in order to progress through the different stages. Number 1. Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Of all the games to have been released in the Spyro franchise, the first three iconic titles are the best of the bunch. While they might not be as vast as Dawn of the Dragon, they are certainly the most nostalgic to play through and brought all the other characters we love from the series into the fold. And what's more, with the revamped graphics, you can play through all the old levels and old storylines from the original PS1, and overall many fans felt that this was officially the best Spyro game that is available today. And so there you pretty much have it. Those were our top 10 best Spyro games to have ever been released of all time. So what did you think of our top 10 list? Do you agree? Or perhaps that you feel that there was a Spyro game not on this list that should have been included? If so, do let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. I would love to hear it. And of course, not forgetting that if you do like this type of content and you would like to see some more top 10 videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course, like this video. I'll also leave some more top 10 videos at the end of this one if you would like to check them out. Thanks very much for watching guys, and I will see you all next time.